Greetings all, BWS2K here. I am still in the midst of moving, which is why there is no camera on my face right now. I am a mess. But there is a confab going on in the Discord. So if that is something that interests you, you can check it out. You can join the Discord if you're not a member of the Discord. But either way, we're going to go through that process here together. And it is much like the normal videos that I do. We're going to roll in some tables and see where we end up with. So this is the first step. So I have all the dice that I'm going to roll all together because it's one of each die type. So we're going to roll in one roll and then sort them all out as we go. Okay, so let me turn on my dice camera here. There we go. So we're going to roll once. Oh, hang on. The camera is not wanting to activate. We're all hot today. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to roll now. All right, that is some 1s and 6s. Okay, hopefully that's all right for us. So let's switch back to the document. So for our highlight mod, which is what we rolled on the D4, we had a 1, which is dramatic order. Dramatic order. I was actually talking in the Discord about this recently, and how it works. So it's kind of, well, I think I described it as the opposite of action order, and then the conversation went from there and ended up more confused by the end than when I started. But I do think I got it, and Cam was explaining to me, Cam Banks, and other folks were helping to kind of lead me on. And I think I got it. So dramatic order. All right, good to know. And then for our bonus stuff, I guess we start with the D12 next. So the D12 we rolled was an 11, and that's a keyword. And so our keyword is T. T. My only experience with T is that I used to work in it was called the Children's Development Center, but it was where professors and adjunct faculty and stuff on campus would drop off their children for the day, sort of kind of like a daycare situation. And I had never had tea, and this was in like 2003, 2004, and they were like, "Oh, Mr. BW, you want some tea? We're having a tea party." And I thought it was pretend. I thought there was like empty cups. So I was like, "Oh yeah, sure." I had gone into like the kindergarten room to get some stuff out of the closet. So I'm like, this is a totally new crew. I don't know any of them because I worked in one of the other rooms. And I was like, "Oh yeah, absolutely. Okay." So then to my horror, the woman pours out some actual tea, which looked purple-ish, and handed me this teacup. And I took a sip, and it was horrible because I later learned that they had to water down the tea in order for it to be like age appropriate for the kids that were there. So my first and only experience with tea was a horrible, just disgusting, watered down mess. And so I never had it before, and I haven't had any since. So that will be an interesting keyword for me to use, and maybe I can really lean into my fears, or maybe I can conquer them. But let's move on. All right, the D10 is the genre. It says roll once, twice, or 3 times. Well, we rolled once, and we always roll genre stuff around here. So if we have to roll again, we will. But our D10 was a 6, which gives us heroic. Heroic as a genre. Not super heroic, mind. Heroic. Okay. All right, interesting. Our D8, which is our trait set. So presumably this is a set that we have to use. And our D8 was also a 6, which means it is skills. All right. And the cool thing about skills is you can also have specialties or roles. Those are both under the skill trait set. And then lastly, our D6, which is the main GMC type. And that was on the D6, which rolled a 1. Odd roll. 6, 6, 1, 1, and then an 11, which is like 2 1s. But a 1, so ours are bosses. We like bosses. Okay. Bosses are nice. Easy stat. You don't need a giant lengthy card, and still have a huge presence in the narrative. So that's cool. All right. So that is what we have for our confab step 1, and we will see where it goes from here.